You guys think that if you're unhappy, that's a good reason to leave a marriage? See?
I don't think you're gonna be happy all the time. So I don't. It depends. How long have I been unhappy?
Right.
Because my kids are seeing that.
Right.
I think that matters too. Like
Most don't have nothing to do with
a lot of people.
It don't have anything to do with age. Getting married too late. People don't have the intestinal fortitude for marriage. You get up there and say these vows. It's duty and responsibility, time and pain. It's the kids. It's the rearing. It's lineage and legacy. That's a joke in itself.
But is that not part of the kids? So your kids are a direct reflection of you. So if my kids are seeing me unhappy, now what?
What are you talking about?
Because you said happiness in the marriage, because you just said that kids are part of it, right?
Let me explain it to you. You're conflating your happiness with how the kids are treated, right? I'm not even talking about the kids. I'm talking about you being happy, right? I just said that about sex, so don't act like you can't do it about everything else. So now that we have a baseline with that, you can fake it till you make it in front of them kids all the time. Now, kids have discernment. I understand that, but happiness doesn't mean everything has to be egregious in the household. However, we know ebb and flow. Is that a thing, or are we dismissing postpartum?
Postpartum depression.
Do we have menopause?
Right.
And so you guys go through these ebb and flow periods where your happiness is intrinsically not working.
But that's why I agree.
But I'm just saying. But you put it on the kids. Like, no, answer my question directly based on happiness itself.
I did, but I said it depends on how long I've been unhappy. Raising my kids in a house where there's no happiness is not
selfish.
That's not life goals.
Just for the sake to say I have a husband. Are you serious?
No, you made a commitment under the Most High God, right? Unless you don't believe.
Who cares about the commitment if I'm unhappy and I'm dying inside?
No, don't interrupt them, Melly. Sorry, Nikki, what you say?
I'm not staying unhappy for 10 months. You talking about 10 years?
Well, I've stayed unhappy for a very, very long time. But who is going to continuously stay in an unhealthy marriage where you're burning inside, you're dying inside, you done forgot who you are, you done forgot your self-worth, and you're just super unhappy, like depressed to that point, just to say I have a husband and I have a family?
I think that we know how hoes are created. Callie said it earlier. Something about they ain't had their daddy, their daddy didn't love them. That's one. Secondly, most of these hoes been hurt by a man. Just like these niggas that been hurt by women, they become hoes. It's the same thing.
Savage.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Even with what Callie is saying, the lack of love, hopelessness, a deficit, desperation. That's all the same umbrella. I'm desperate for the love of a real man because a man never loved me. So I'm out there searching for the love of a man. But because I don't know how to properly find love from a man because I never experienced it. So now from these worst experiences that I've had and the damage that I've had from men, I'm telling you now, I'm only going to use them for what I like them for, because there's no possibility that they could ever even try to love me correctly. And I'm so lost on love, so in the deficit, I'll be desperate. And a lot of women have penis in that. The girl come up here, Hamp, remember the girl that came up here who was cosplaying a man? She was a whole butch, calling the women male-centered up here. You're trying to become them niggas. Talk about worship when you think you're fucking up a storm because you're a man and you're acting like a man. That's male worship down to the ground.
So the women who are promiscuous, are we saying they're all desperate?
Majority. I'm not saying that, but I know.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like in my point in my life, I feel like I was being groomed to cater to him.
So at 18, when did you guys break up or stop doing with each other?
When I was 21, turning 22.
So you were with him for about 3 to 4 years. How did you upgrade him?
I think that I gave him a different perspective.
Well, you also feel like after you dated him, I upgraded you, and then all these women want you after what I did for you.
He was 18, bro. Like, you grilling him, bro. What the fuck?
It's hard to imagine an 18-year-old girl upgrading a 28-year-old man, but then you left curious, what could you have possibly really done to a man that age? Like, you don't have no money, you 18, you don't have much knowledge, you 18.
But what we're witnessing is cognitive dissonance. So there's no way you admonish the man by saying that you upgraded him and then in another breath say he groomed you. Those two things are diametrically opposed, right? And then you said age don't matter. People could be wise beyond their years. However, when Tamia gave you the bail money about you being 18, you're like, yeah, I was just 18. Nah, because remember you just said that you had the wisdom and understanding of somebody older than that, which is what you would be able to bestow on him. Right? Ooh. So these things are conflicting when we saying them. Did you actually upgrade him, or was you mad and talking shit to him because he cheated on? Are most of us cowards? Are most of us willing to kill and die for our wife and children? Are we willing to defend ourselves? Do we know what it looks like when shit is hitting the fan? Do we know when danger is actually upon us? How many dangerous situations have we been in to tell? Do we know who we are in these ways? I'm gonna just tell y'all this. If you are in a real life situation and a person approaches you after an aggressive conversation, get yourself in a position in which you can defend yourself properly. So don't stay in a position that doesn't give you any advantage but put you at a disadvantage. Don't ever do that. see people picking and choosing, you know? So if I'm going to approach you in an aggressive manner, then I should stay that way. Or else you look bad. That shit look corny. That shit don't look good for men. Because it's like, damn, is there a low-level threat of violence between men for real? But that's the word. We pump faking. We half stepping. That shit take away from our strength, our bravado, when we don't know how this shit's supposed to go. So this is a thing that I just been trying to process, man. Don't sleep on nobody. And be ready. Be ready as you can. The man says he got cheated on, and you tell him he's the reason why he got cheated on because she didn't feel like she was getting enough emotional support from him, and you justify him getting cheated on.
And like I said, that's unfortunate. But the person that he
got cheated on, you would have been like, "Girl, that nigga ain't shit."
No, first of all, you don't know me, so you don't know what I would have said. I would have asked, well, what happened? What did you do? What did he do? I was trying to get the full story. But to just go on this I hate women train, I'm not about to do that. Like I said, give us the full details. But to just act like everything was just shine the rainbow, sorry, Uno, but it's more to it.
Right.
So I just want you to realize real quick, she was emotionally deprived, and you think
and then she entered a relationship with him.
Well, no, you can't add that speculation on. What we do know, based on what he shared, and somehow you're saying he emotionally deprived her. You think that correlates?
Because before she probably sexually had that experience with that man, she probably emotionally attached herself to him.
Why would you think that?
Because as y'all like to just say that women just go and just be loose and just have sex.
You do. Remember we had the conversation.
But the majority of women, they are going to emotionally, the majority of women going to emotionally attach themselves to a man.
How?
And then have the intercourse.
How do you know that?
Because I know. The same way y'all know. The same way that y'all know everything that y'all done talked about all
No, what I'm saying is, how do you know that, and how can you justify that based on women's behavior?
Because it's statistics. Somebody do the research.
If she has a dream about me cheating, am I at fault now?
You did that shit.
You did that shit, nigga. You did that shit in your past life, man.
Damn, boy. So he got hit with a honey bun and it's his fault. Okay.
That's like a boomerang.
I mean, I don't know his situation. How much would you say yes or no?
Well, she let another man put his penis in her vagina. He didn't ask her to do it. She just went and did it because or whatever.
So, I mean, I don't know how necessarily it's his fault unless he, maybe he's seen the signs and just chose to ignore them. But other than that, like, I'm pretty sure you left after you found out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he did the right thing.
Stepping away from it. So, is that an assurance for a partner? Is that an option as well? Like,
fellas,
like open book?
Yeah, I got you. Real quick. Hey, fellas, if you dealing with a woman and she call you a partner, get up out of there. Okay. Yeah, let me see. Let me log in that joint whenever I feel like it. Yeah, I think that will work for sure. Yo, that accountability helps people too. If you know somebody else is looking at this shit, like how you reply, what you reply to, the bullshit, right? So like, for instance, this might be risky. Callie and I can see it, and my wife can see it. Now, I don't even really look at it that much because I know that they be looking at it. But also, bullshit get flushed. You know what I'm saying? It like take a weight off you, Right? Because temptation killed the cat. Pun intended.
I don't even have a lock on my phone. You can pick up my phone at any moment and go in there and look and see text messages and all of that shit.
Don't get a password. You say delete it. It's gonna be deleted.
You mentioned that one of the problems was that you have so much access on social media. Like, some people can message you, DM, your DMs popping. Him looking at it, is that going to satisfy him that it's confirmed now, or is he just trying to confirm whether or not you're responding back and cheating?
The con to that is that he gonna read all that shit the wrong way for sure.
Every time.
As he should. It ain't never all good.
I was just going to say something to the fact of, in terms of social media, although primarily I do it for content creation, if my man had an issue with it, I was at it, no questions asked, because I've actually been there, done that.
It calls for strokes. Like, somebody will punch you in your shit for talking too much and talking crazy.
It say that in the Bible? No, it doesn't say that in the Bible. That also equates to...
I knew it. A fool lips enter into contention and his mouth calleth for strokes. Proverbs 18:6.
Okay.
Because I read this shit. I'm just saying
I did too, 5,000 times.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, well, you didn't know that was in there, right?
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out.
So...
Yeah. Bobcat. It's a Bobcat. It's a Bobcat, yeah. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. DJ Hamp about to go live again. So hit the likes, my friend, on your way in. First off, salute the chat. And to all new cousins, welcome back. Heard you searching for the real, well, this is where it's at. The latest topics and panels and brother, don't get sent to the bathroom. We got all the stats, too, back to facts in the morning or the afternoon. Tuesday, women's POV, 2 Fridays, dancing, jamming tune. It's a community of real, and we better than the world news. This might be risky, I hope you know. This might be risky, let's go, let's go. This might be risky, no, I love you, real, I love it. This might be risky. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show. Yeah, it's a Bobcat. It's a Bobcat. It's a Bobcat, yeah. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. DJ Hamp about to go live again. So hit the likes, my friend, on your way in. First off, salute the chat. And to all new cousins, welcome back. Heard you searching for the real, well, this is where it's at. The latest topics and panels and brother, don't get sent to the bathroom. We got all the stats, too, back to facts in the morning or the afternoon. Tuesday, women's POV, 2 Fridays, dancing, jamming tune. It's a community of real, and we better than the world news. This might be risky, I hope you know. This might be risky, let's go, let's go. This might be risky, no, I love you, real, I love it. This might be risky. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show. Yeah, it's a Bobcat. It's a Bobcat. It's a Bobcat, yeah. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. DJ Hamp about to go live again. So hit the likes, my friend, on your way in. First off, salute the chat. And to all new cousins, welcome back. Heard you searching for the real, well, this is where it's at. The latest topics and panels and brother, don't get sent to the bathroom. We got all the stats, too, back to facts in the morning or the afternoon. Tuesday, women's POV, 2 Fridays, dancing, jamming tune. It's a community of real, and we better than the world news. This might be risky, I hope you know. This might be risky, let's go, let's go. This might be risky, no, I love you, real, I love it. This might be risky. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show. Yeah, it's a Bobcat. It's a Bobcat. It's a Bobcat, yeah. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. DJ Hamp about to go live again. So hit the likes, my friend, on your way in. First off, salute the chat. And to all new cousins, welcome back. Heard you searching for the real, well, this is where it's at. The latest topics and panels and brother, don't get sent to the bathroom. We got all the stats, too, back to facts in the morning or the afternoon. Tuesday, women's POV, 2 Fridays, dancing, jamming tune. It's a community of real, and we better than the world news. This might be risky, I hope you know. This might be risky, let's go, let's go. This might be risky, no, I love you, real, I love it. This might be risky. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show. Yeah, it's a Bobcat. It's a Bobcat. It's a Bobcat, yeah. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. DJ Hamp about to go live again. So hit the likes, my friend, on your way in. First off, salute the chat. And to all new cousins, welcome back. Heard you searching for the real, well, this is where it's at. The latest topics and panels and brother, don't get sent to the bathroom. We got all the stats, too, back to facts in the morning or the afternoon. Tuesday, women's POV, 2 Fridays, dancing, jamming tune. It's a community of real, and we better than the world news. This might be risky, I hope you know. This might be risky. Let's go, let's go. This might be risky. No, I love you, real, I love it. This might be risky. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show. Yeah, it's a broadcast. It's a broadcast. It's a broadcast, yeah. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. DJ Ham about to go live again. So hit the likes, my friend, on your way in. First off, salute the chat. And to all new cousins, welcome back. Heard you searching for the real, well, this is where it's at. The latest topics and panels and brother, don't get sent to the bathroom. We got all the stats, 2 back to facts in the morning or the afternoon. Tuesday, women's POV, 2 Fridays, dancing, jamming tune. It's a community of real, and we better than the world news. This might be risky, I hope you know. This might be risky. Let's go, let's go. This might be risky. Okay.
Yo, check. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. DJ Ham to Stand Pee Wee in the building. Hope all is well. Hope you're doing the right thing. We was traveling so much on Friday. We had to postpone this show to the point where we could not quite get it done. The airport was hell, but we had to do the makeup show. We don't miss shit around here. You know what I mean? So appreciate everybody for being here on this makeup show. We should be here for a good time. I don't know if we're going to be here for a super long time. You know what I'm saying? But I humbly appreciate everybody for being in the building. Let me just fix one thing real quick. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Salute to everybody in the chat. So far, we got 100 people in the building. Let's make sure that the match likes the viewership. So we got 70 people. We got 60 likes. That's pretty damn good, man. We need the other 10 people to hit the like button, please, so we can be matching the viewership, man. How everybody feeling, man? Put a 1 in the chat if you feeling good. It's Wednesday. Perfect. The show tonight is gonna be amazing. You heard? Perfect. Know what I mean? All right, let me see. Rest, let me see you in the building real quick, man. Let me see. All right. So let me do this real quick. Make sure we good. Let's pop this shit off, man. We had some hell of a shows these last couple of days. That's for damn sure. Let me see. I just want to do this. Where is it? Hold on, I just want to find this one thing. And I didn't even get a chance to edit it yet, but it's be all right. All right. This should be a new one I'm going to get. All right. Salute, man. Appreciate y'all. Everybody feeling good. Yes. Got 100 people in the building. Let me see you in the building. Zagul was popping. To my brother Zagul in the building. Foe was shaking. You heard that this might be risky theme song. If you need a theme song for yourself, get in touch with me. I'll get you in touch with Foe. Or you can get in touch with Foe directly. You heard? Miss Peach, good morning. Nightbot behaving. My brother D Majesty, salute. CC was popping. I don't think I saw you yesterday. Salute to CC in the building, man. E Dub was popping. Yo. What? Be nice, what's goody? Free zone in the building. There he is, what's popping? Oh, he talking about himself in the clip. Quincy, was good? Salute, 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 man. Hit the like button, man. UFO was goody. I ain't see you yesterday, man. Hope all is well, man. Dooch in the building was shaking. I hope you got a chance to go look at the book of Job, please. Mahogany was popping. Good morning. Riri, salute, salute, salute. My brother Black King in the building was popping. Corey, interesting thought. My brother Mr. McBride was shaking. My G. You know we be in Chicago on the 16th of May, 16th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. You know, Sean Antonio got an event out there, man. I know you live out there, man. Maybe we could catch up and all that. You know what I'm saying? So salute, 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 man. Hit the like button, man. Yo, Rilla in the building. Salute to my OG Rilla in the building. Was popping. Homeboy, Shalawam. Yeah, man, I had a makeup show, vet. You know how it go, man. I don't miss nothing, man. You got to stay consistent, and if you don't be consistent, you got to make up for it at the very least, you know? So I hope that we can get it popping today, man. Like I said, good time, maybe not a long time, you know? Yo, Corey was popping. Corey said, Hamp, salute. Did you get chop blocked a lot when you play Mike Backer? Not so much. And I don't play Mike in high school. I play Will and Strong in college, so I wasn't super subject to the chop per se, especially because I was a little bit undersized too. So I think the need to have the chop me wasn't there until they finally realized that I was bringing more paws than what they maybe thought. But nah, not so much. Oftentimes you get chopped on a blitz, you know, especially if I'm crowding the A gap or something like that. You know, you may get a chop because you get, linebackers get through there quick. So they try to kind of chop you down before you get going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Salute, salute, salute. Okay, I got everybody. Red Sub was popping. Crown Prince. Salute, my G. Salute to the OGs in the building. Fish in the Fit was shaking. Good to see you. Hope all is well. As Ave in the building. Key, what's good, my brother? Skinny, what up, baby? It's good to see you in the daytime, man. AC was popping. Imperial was popping. Tony was good, my boy. Nathaniel, Shalawam was popping. No Country for Old Simpson, a building. Salute, my brother Ken, right on time, man. Hit the like button. Salute to Tiff in the building. Tiff will be in the building this evening as we continue to assess the community in 20-year increments. We are on the crack era this evening. Do not miss this one. I wonder if it's as obvious as we think it is. You know what I'm saying? So salute, man. Indeed, 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 man. Hit the like button if you can. That helps the channel the most, man. Damn. The show yesterday, man. Salute to everybody in the building. The show yesterday was an interesting one for sure. And we were talking about pro-blackness, what makes you pro-black, what eliminates you, you know? And it got me to thinking, when Tango was talking and giving his 2 cents, how stringent the criteria must be for somebody to qualify as pro-black. It has to be more than just talking, right? It has to be more than just who you wed to. But it has to be the morale along with the impact, along with your intent, along with your actions. Why does it have to be a low bar of expectations for people to be pro-black? I like the fact that it should not be easy for people to qualify as pro-black. You need to hit several metrics to do so. Because what happened yesterday was, if I don't do this one, then I'm not pro-black, but you can do that. Well, in fact, you actually can't do that. So shooting, kill a gorilla nigga is not pro-black. He's anti-black. A person who marries a woman outside of their race isn't pro-black. Right? If your morality is not intact, you're not pro-black. If you don't have any action behind your words, you're not pro-black. Maybe, in fact, the us of us that think we are not. Because you have to hit all the criteria to qualify. That's the problem now. We got such a low bar of expectations to where everybody invited to the cookout. Everybody can qualify. And is that the overarching issue with our people in our community? Think about that. We don't expect shit from nobody. As long as you can dance, you in. As long as you could talk the lingo, you in. As long as you know who the best rappers are, you in. As long as you got a black friend, you in. Right? Think about that. So we have to ask ourselves, who actually is pro-black? Who would actually qualify to be pro-black? If you have to meet all the criteria. We may find that most of us aren't. We may find that most of us aren't. If you got to hit all the bars, all the metrics. The problem with the low bar, we see it in so many different facets. Right? We've seen it in so many different facets. I'm about to show y'all a few. Hit the like button if you can. That helps the channel the most. Salute to the 100 people in the building. Let's get it popping. So, let me get the different screen. 1 second. One second. Right. When you have such a low bar, right? When people can infiltrate, do what they do to you and yours because you don't expect much from them. And it don't take much to qualify to be in your camp, to be in your proximity. What is the risk of that? What does that cost you? I argue everything. It costs you everything when you expect nothing. When people can qualify just for the sake of qualifying. Just for having black skin. Even. Just for having a black friend. Even. Right? Just for having black kids. What about their intentions? What about their actions? What about the things they subscribe to? What about their sexual orientation? What about their whoremongering? What about the whoring? What about the shooting and killing? What about having kids with no intentions for the kids? Having no plan for the kids? Not teaching the kids, right? The teacher should be reinforcing what's learned in the home. But instead, the teacher's got to be a babysitter. The teacher got to be the teacher. The teacher got to be the mom. The teacher got to be the dad. The teacher got to be the greatest influence. Nah. You can't be pro-black either, right? Right? Isn't that how it works? That's got to be how it works. Or else you get shit like this going on.
By any means necessary.
At this point, I question the whole purpose of the Black Panther Party. In my thinking, they were necessary. It was a shock treatment for white America to see. At this point, I question the whole purpose of the Black Panther Party. In my thinking, they.
So William O'Neill, an FBI informant. If you watch Judas and the Black Messiah, it's I think it does a decent job of depicting what was happening, what was going on in terms of when Fred was assassinated. God bless his dead. And the depiction that Lakeith played, right? Stanfield is a depiction of this gentleman here. Do you guys remember the movie? Was it jealousy or envy in certain scenes? Did he feel convicted? Did he feel guilty? Did he feel shame? Or did he do whatever he needed to do to save himself? And his feelings were inconsequential. I'm going to play a clip from the movie, right? And I want y'all to, and I think Lakeith did an awesome job. But what is it in his eyes? And why was he able to infiltrate and get in the first place? What's the low level bar of expectations? What's the criteria you gotta meet to come to the cookout? Is being black enough? Right? If his family is born in Nigeria or in the Caribbean and not here, is he disqualified from this cookout? Is it that simple? If his wife is white, is he disqualified? If he's a so-called black American, does that automatically make him qualified? We need to really understand the qualifications. Because what are we eliminating people for? He wasn't eliminated. Because all he had to do was be black. What about his morality? What's the shit test?
Were necessary. It was a shock treatment for white America to see black men running around with guns, just like black men saw white men running around with guns. Yeah, that was a shock treatment. It was good in that extent, but it got a lot of black people hurt. My recruitment by the FBI was very efficient, very simple, really. I'd stolen a car and went joyriding over the state limit, and they had a potential case against me, and I was looking for an opportunity to work it off. And a couple of months later, that opportunity came when FBI agent Roy Mitchell asked me to go down to the local office of the Black Panther Party and try to gain membership. We tried to develop negative information to discredit him, just like we did everybody else. We, meaning the FBI, I tried to come up with signs of him doing drugs or something, and never could. He was clean. He was dedicated.
Listen to what he said. He was joyriding. The boys picked him up. What's the charge for that? What's the time for that? Joyriding. And in order to save yourself, they literally say, hey, go infiltrate this party, bring them down, and you get off. Simple as that. What was the criteria of the Black Panther Party to let or not let people in? How did you pass the test? What was the shit test? I heard somebody talking one day, right? I can't remember exactly who it was. And they were saying, they were talking about like the fraternities and all that, right? And they were saying, I can't believe people would be subject to that or go through that amount of pain or punishment or scrutiny or being broken down to that extent, right? I remember that. They was acting like it was so tough, it was so degrading that I don't know how somebody would do that or why it would be done. But you know what wouldn't have happened? Him just walking through the door, being black and being qualified. And because he had appeal and charisma, he was able to get in, infiltrate, try to find dirt, literally trying to find dirt. The movie did a good job of depicting that. Because what was the criteria? When I went through the process, we started with 25, we ended up with 10. We started with 25, we ended up with 10. One time, there was a voluntary thing like, hey, y'all want to come to... One thing happened. I shook hands with one of the dudes I play football with. He's like, yo, I'm good. This ain't for me. 6 months later, he was a Sigma.
Perfect.
I'm just saying, bro, you got a low criteria bar, right? What's the quality of people? Who could get in there and infiltrate you and do you dirty? Almost any fucking body. Because we have a low level of expectation for the things that mean the most to us. Our kids, our bodies, our communities, our organizations. We're not willing to go to the same lengths these other people willing to go that we say are our enemies. And this is how shit like what this brother here did to Fred. Let's keep listening.
I've had private conversations with him. We got along pretty well.
2 weeks later, a gun battle on Chicago's South Side further escalated tensions. A former Panther and 2 policemen were killed. The deaths provoked a response from informant William O'Neill's FBI contact.
Mitchell became more specific during that time. He wanted to know the locations of weapons caches. He wanted to know if we had explosives. He he needed to know who was staying at what locations, who spent the night where. His information didn't change so much as he requested more detail. And I knew why. The shootout on the South Side had pretty much laid the foundation within the party, within the Black Panthers. We knew that the police would react some type of way.
Expecting police action, the Black Panthers had fortified their office. FBI informant O'Neill was now head of Panther security in Chicago.
And I remember walking out of the office and looking through a little clearing over on the next block, which was right in front of...
Salute to TBE. He said, yo, Ed O'Neill was a street nigga, right? He was known for putting in work. So they made him the head of security. I'm speculating, right? I'm sure he did things to prove himself, got close, to Fred at that time, But people will benefit from their street cachet, right? But think about that, though. He wasn't doing no street shit to nobody that didn't look like him. He wasn't doing no street shit to people that didn't look like him. Because if TBE is accurate, right? Let's say I take what TBE said is fact. That's probably why they put him in place. Okay, you could be security. Why? Because you doing street shit to people who look like you? Think about that shit for a second. Think about that shit for a second. That qualify you to be head of security? What other credentials did he have?
The Monroe Street address and seeing a lot of police cars over there. And at that time, Bobby Rush came to the office. He had just come from over there, or maybe the coroner's office. In any case, we walked back over there, and we both were speechless. We just walked through the house and saw what had taken place and where he died, and it was shocking. And then I was, I just began to realize that the information that I supplied leading up to that moment had facilitated that raid. I knew that indirectly I had contributed, and I felt it, and I felt bad about it. And then I got mad. I had, and then I had to conceal those feelings, which made it worse. I couldn't say anything. I just had to continue to play the role.
FBI headquarters authorized payment of a $300 bonus to informant William O'Neill for, quote, uniquely valuable services which he rendered over the past several months, unquote.
As Malcolm X said.
Remorse. Right? Remorse is usually always after. After I've done the thing that I knew was wrong, now I want to be remorseful. Ask for forgiveness, not for permission, right? And it's interesting about the show, we were talking about shame. It's convenient to be remorseful when you knew you were doing something that was going to hurt your people in your community. What qualified him? How did he get there in the first place? Why is everybody invited to the cookout? What makes you pro-black? Just being a Panther? Obviously not. Now, what's the inflation on $300 from that time? Exactly, Darvell. He didn't care. What's the inflation on that? How much money would that be? $300 today is what? Can somebody help me out with that? How easy is it to get people to get close to us? How often had they showed us who we are, but we ignored it because there was one thing that destroyed our mindset? Nah, that can't be them. Nah, that can't be him. He wouldn't do that to me, but he showed you. But what qualified him to get next to you? How was he or she invited to the cookout? This is one that interests me right here. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, man. Let me show you how this.
Harlem, New York in 1966. Martinez started selling drugs at the age of 13 and eventually became one of the most infamous drug dealers in Harlem during the late 1980s, making millions by importing and distributing narcotics. Martinez's charisma and flamboyant lifestyle served as inspiration for several pop culture characters, notably Rico in the 2002 film Paid in Full. He was involved in multiple murders, including that of his close friend and business partner, Rich Porter, displaying the brutal side of drug trafficking. Shockingly, family. Martinez became an informant for the government in 1991 and was released from ADX Florence Supermax prison in 2015 after serving a 25-year sentence for murder. On October 31, 2021, Martinez was fatally shot 5 times in Harlem, New York, while seated in his 2017 Dodge Ram. It was later reported that he was killed over a road rage incident. Alpo Martinez.
So think about Alpo. How does he fit in this whole equation about what I'm talking about? How does he fit in this whole equation about what I'm talking about? Why do you think that we talking about Alpo? Why is he important? We was talking about our people, you know, this race thing. Who is or is not, who can be in, who's pro-black, who ain't, how do people get close, who's invited. Why are we talking about Alpo? Did you guys see the movie? Did you guys see the movie? Did you see how great of a job Cameron did depicting him? Did you see his interviews when he talked about how he killed Richie? Why he killed Richie? Do you remember the beginning of the movie, which is an actual thing? What'd he say? No rice, no soy sauce, no nothing. When they made a bullshit bet of throwing balled up trash in the trash can. Did you notice the disposition that Cam was able to display? Think about that scene. Matter of fact, I'll show y'all that scene. It might give me they might demonetize, but let me show you. There's things I just noticed, you know, about certain things, you know, and how important this scene is. But it's a foreshadow. It's a forecast, right? It shows you the future. It shows you how somebody view you, see you, what's most important to them. Let me show y'all this. Just make sure we're on the same page. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, man.
This is the stage. If you was here, you was definitely somebody.
Which is my favorite dish, but without no money, it's still a wish. Cause I don't like to dream about getting paid, so I dig into the books up.
Did our thing, you know. We was living that life.
Yeah, so you know, I'm up at this cat birthday party the other day.
What you talking about? Talking about Charlie Rock shit at the red?
Exactly.
Yeah, I couldn't make that shit.
Yeah. So I'm up at their birthday. I ain't bring them nothing. So I see everybody up there got stuff for them. So I walk up to the table.
Ain't got no soy sauce up there, B?
No, they ain't put no fucking soy sauce in the bag, man.
Hey, yo, niggas always do that shit, man.
Fuck the soy sauce, man. Mitch, can I tell a story? I walk up to the table, right? Pick up the cake, mush it in his face, tell him happy birthday. Niggas in the party looking at me like I'm bugging. I saw that nigga mad love, B.
We ain't looking at you like you bugging, man. You bugging, man. This nigga be thinking that type of shit is funny. You took the whole cake and mushed it in his face?
Whole cake.
What's up with this nigga here, man?
That's love right there, man.
Doing that, B? I'm sitting fucking nigga birthday party up like that. I know his girl was there.
Man, listen, lucky ass Ace. Make that shot again. 5,000. You can't make it again.
I'm gonna take you a little 5,000, man. Hold on to you, man.
Penny pinching nigga, yeah, man. You know, Ace fucks me up, man. You always trying to save your dough and shit, B.
The thing is, baby, you fucking with the wrong nigga right now. You need to be fucking with me, man.
Give me my money.
Come on,
right here, man.
I ain't got it right now, man.
You ain't got it. No ribs.
Nah, come on, B.
No ribs, no rice, no champagne. You don't eat nothing. Fuck you, man. I'll get my money, man. Pay me my money, man.
Yo, hey, man, just loan me 10 G's real fast so I get back to the crib.
Don't your man 10 G's because I ain't get.
Look at this, right? This is fucking great acting, directing, and all that. Ace catch it, right? He catch the disposition change. He catch how serious Rico is in this particular scene. Look at this.
Get us off. Give me my money. Give me my money.
All right. Look.
Give me my money.
Look. He catch it. He see it. He say, damn, this nigga acting different over this money. He dead serious over this money. He ain't playing about this money. This ain't friendly. He looking at say, yo, what's this nigga's priorities?
Come on,
right here, man.
I ain't got it right now, man.
You ain't got it. No ribs.
Nah, come on, B.
No ribs, no rice, no champagne. You don't eat nothing. Fuck you, man. I'll get my money, man. Pay me my money, man.
Yo, hey, man, just loan me 10 G's real fast so I get back to the crib.
Don't your man 10 G's because I ain't giving him his food back. Ain't no more soy sauce, nigga.
That's 5, man. What the fuck you mean this is 5, man? Let me 10 real fast, B. I'm gonna give you the dough when I get back to the crib. That's 5, man. I'm paying for your paper bag.
I just see it, and then you know at the end, right? When he had the keys, was it 14, 16 in the bag? And he smoked them for that. But it's just funny. That scene is interesting to me, especially because Ace see it, right? You know, he see, damn. Right? Because how did they meet? When they was knocked in prison, he helped them. And that's all it took. Now, I'm not saying that's not enough. I'm simply saying that obviously, based on what we know that actually happened, the camaraderie, the love wasn't there. Everybody wanted to be the man just cause. But this scene foreshadows what we saw happen at the end. Right? When he knew who he was, like Homeboy said, he took an opportunity to help him. It wasn't just about helping him, it was about getting in. And then he killed him at the end. So was it getting in with them or infiltrating? You know? Was it about getting in or infiltrating? Right? So it's just interesting to me, man, when we talk about our community and we talk about who's pro-black. Do we have to look in our mirror and say, do I count? Do I qualify? Am I missing a component that qualifies me? Or are we all sitting here, yeah, I'm pro-black, but we don't have nothing to show for it? We're not a part of any black organizations. We don't have a black family. Our morality is corrupt. You know? Who are we? How do you qualify? When people ask you what you doing, do you have a substantive answer? Or is it actually bullshit? Do you actually do for the community? Or do you drop clothes off at one of those dumpster shits and say, oh, done my part? You dropping off shit at Goodwill or are you actually enthralled? What is the bar? What's the level? How do we know? I don't know, man. I'm just thinking of it. Here's what I'll say, though. And I'll drop the link for a split second. Here's what I'll say, though. We too casual, right? We want access to things and we want the access to said things to be easy. And then when they get difficult, we complain. And then we get mad because the access was so easy. People are allowed to get in, infiltrate, destroy, right? You get a damn coup. People break your shit down, talk bad about you, then go try to start their own shit off the back of the foundation that you created by trying to poison yours. Or they working for somebody else. They have ulterior motives. Or people get in and really don't add no value. They just happy to be there. None of those things are helpful. This is a high bar to be pro-black. The criteria is stringent. And it's in-depth. It's much more than even what we thought. So yes, there's several disqualifiers. You have to ask yourself, are you disqualified? And if so, how can you fix it? How can you change it? What really matters when it's all said and done, when shit hits the fan? I would argue most of us ain't pro-black. That don't mean you anti, that don't mean you against. But if the criteria and the bar is set uberly high, as it should be, it's going to be very difficult to qualify for that moniker. And it's much more than just who you married. That's very important, but it's much more than that. There's several things that could disqualify you. And it need to be that way because now the cookout is oversaturated because everybody can come.
Perfect.
What y'all think, man? Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. I'll drop this link for a split second. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Hold on, let me do something real quick. Hold on 1 second. Give me a second.
Yeah. It's a broadcast. It's a broadcast. It's a broadcast, yeah. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. DJ Hamp about to go live again. So hit the likes, my friend, on your way in. First off, salute the chat. And to all new cousins, welcome back. Heard you searching for the real, well, this is where it's at. The latest topics and panels and brother, don't get sent to the bathroom. We got all the stats, too, back to facts in the morning or the afternoon. Tuesday, women's POV, 2 Fridays, there's a jamming tune. It's a community of real, and we better than the world news. This might be risky, I hope you know. This might be risky, let's go, let's go. This might be risky, no, I love you, real, I love it. This might be risky. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show.
Tiff asked an interesting question. What up, Noah? Salute, my G. I ain't seen you in a few days. What up, Nas? RD was shaking, my G. I think you have to be 90% accurate. I think you have to be 90% accurate. Right. I think you have to be 90% accurate to qualify as pro-black. I think you got to be 90% accurate. I think that you have to pass with flying colors. Does every metric weigh the same? I'm not sure. I'm still deliberating that in my head. Does every metric weigh the same? But see, I don't even want to skew it. Because then people will be like, oh, well, at least I ain't do that. And then we back at square one. But I think you got to be 90% accurate. You know? Because I'm thinking about things that people introduced before. Because my stance was emphatically, you cannot sleep white and talk black. And no matter what you did before that, didn't matter. Or what you did after that, didn't matter. But that's one facet of many. I can't be morally corrupt and think I'm also, but because my wife is black, I'm better than the nigga who got a white wife. Or I'm more pro-black, than a nigga who got a white wife. But he's morally upright and I'm morally corrupt. That can't work. That can't happen. Right? You can't scale that. Right? You can't scale that. Because people who will show up, and as long as they look like you, can infiltrate you because you don't have any real stringent criteria to hold people to a marker that it takes to get to the next level. We hear it all the time, y'all. They say, "Oh, the Hebrew Israelites, y'all too serious. Y'all love the Bible too much. Y'all too into the Bible. I don't want no man that's that religious." Shit sound corny as hell. It's only hard but fair. And all the rules is written down. But your own people call you extreme. Your own fucking people call you extreme. Your own people don't even have a conversation with you. They just make assumptions based on a few clips they saw. Y'all too strict. What you talking about? The world is going to a hell in a handbasket. The fact that we ain't strict enough is why we cannon fodder, we court justice, we disrespected. Because we want everything to be loose, easy. Black Dawn, salute, my G. With the $5 says, excuse me, let me make this a little bit. Hold on, Black Dawn, my bad. 1 second. I just want to make sure that you can see it. Salute the Black Dawn with the $5. First super chat of the day says, what's the point system of being pro-black? For example, is having a white wife plus 0 points, having non-FBA wife plus 5 points and 10 points? Yeah. And I think I just acknowledged that, right? I don't even want to play that game with people, Black Dawn, to where they can scale it and be like, oh, well, you got this, so that's 5 points. Then you got this. Nah. Check, 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 check. Right? Check. Check, 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 check. Check that box. Good. Check that box. And you got to have 90% of them boxes checked. I would do it like that, Black Dawn. Because to your point, people will try to be like, oh, well, that. Nah. Let's not play that game. We got a lot of us disqualifying. Caressa made a great point last night. She said, niggas act like they care. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. It's YouTube. When niggas get off YouTube, they go and do the things that they've always done. Which was nothing. Right? He said we just talking. So let's just check the boxes and let's set it up. I'm going to set it up. I'm going to put it out. I'm going to put a link to it on a Google Sheet. And I'm going to have a bunch of shit up there, Black Dawn and everybody. Is your significant other white or is your significant other black? Do you do this? Do you do that? Do you do this? Your kids. Are you intentional about what's next for the community? What are your philanthropic deeds? And they have to be substantive too. Right? I was teasing Sherelle yesterday. Ice cream truck for kids don't fucking count. Right? And we're going to check it all the way down. Are you a part of the Alumni Association? Are you a part of a black fraternity or sorority? Right? Even though people may or not disagree with those, but they are organizations. Are you a part of 100 Black Men of America? 100 Black Women of America? You know, let's check it all the way off. Are you an entrepreneur? Do you invest in black businesses? Do you shop black? We're going to put a whole list together. And we're going to see who actually qualifies. Yeah, we're going to see who actually qualifies. Salute the Black Dawn with the $5 says, I got it. I got it. I guess my next question would be, is there check boxes that are absolutely mandatory, even if you pass the 90%, that would fail you? Black Dawn, I think at this point, because I think we're going to have to look in the mirror, I don't think so. I think I would eliminate that for the sake of the exercise. You see? Because what happened, they gonna lie to you. I think what'll happen, Black Dawn, is because that's all they need. At least I ain't doing that, right? You feel me? To your point. So I think that we would leave it. So initially, like, what was the key metrics yesterday, Black Dawn? And I'm talking to everybody, but Black Dawn just engaging, right, with the super chat. So the homosexual was absolutely not, right? The interracial marriages was kind of like absolutely not, right? But then the whoremongering thing we had to argue about. Right? So the whoremongering, which absolutely does not benefit the community whatsoever, does only the opposite, was a point of contention. Right? When that one is pretty obvious in itself. But as soon as we get implicated, Black Dawn, then we want to argue that one. Right? When we the ones that, so soon as, oh shit, the jacket on me, now I got to be accountable for it. Now, nah, we got to argue that. Nah, it's the same, my nigga. Right? So I think we can't have one that's like, if you check that box, it's over with. Because we got to come to the front of the congregation, all of us, and see what we do and don't qualify for. You heard? Like, what should we be judged about? So it's just interesting. It's just interesting for sure, man. What I'm going to do is this. I want to try something real quick. This is kind of off the cuff. I will allow call-ins specifically. So if you hit the Zoom link, I'll give you a few minutes just to call in and give your 2 cents. I won't bring you actually on, as opposed to assembling a panel. If you kind of at work or whatever the case is, you can hit that Zoom link and I can bring you on and they'll be able to hear you without being able to see you. If you want to give your 2 cents just for a couple minutes. Yo, EP, for real, bro. Miss Jilly, can you please drop the Discord link if we have one, or Callie, if you can grab a fresh one from the thing. That would be great. Salute the EP. But yeah, this is something I was thinking about, man. Cause that show was dope yesterday. And I was building this premise from the shows that we've been having on Wednesdays about being infiltrated, who's invited, what's okay, what destroyed our community. I think one thing I'm telling you, man, that I really think about is the fact that we do give grace and applaud others that don't look like us more quickly than we do the people that belong to us, right? And then you can see that often happens, you know. Familiarity breeds contempt, proximity. People get annoyed at their people. When I was coaching high school football, the moms and dads would call me, even the dads, hey, coach, this dude ain't doing his schoolwork or he not listening. And I could say the same thing his dad said or his mom say, and they instantly snap too. Now, I can also bench them, you know, but people often have a hard time listening to people that they kind of take for granted. The people that really take care of them. I looked up one day, I told my wife, I said, you know, nobody say thank you. We was leaving out of this place called, it's an Italian food place. I forget the name. Carbella's, I think. And everybody just eat, fuck, all right, boom. Nobody say thank you. New shoes, new this. Nobody say thank you. Right? It's interesting how our minds work. How the people in proximity we take for granted. But when somebody who's mediocre, but because they look different, resonate differently, we put them on high. And it don't be nothing spectacular. White man can't dunk, right? He did a regular fucking dunk and Wesley Snipes went bananas. Did y'all see when they first went to the park? Niggas just windmilling, 360 in, and they just, oh, good dunk. White man dunk one time, we throw a party for him. Think about our mentality. And we know we've seen that. I could bring up a million videos right now, but I don't want to dirty up the stream with a bunch of clips. So I dropped the link. If y'all want to come up, I'll have you up. It's just a call in to where they can hear you but not see you. And obviously if you want to cam up, of course. You know? So I'm just thinking about that, man. I'm just thinking about that. Tiff, what up, kiddo? You can hear me?
Hey, Brother Hamp. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's the deal?
Not much. You know, I don't want to leave you up here. You know, this is my kind of carrying on.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm about to be done. I said mine. So, what you think, man?
No, I think what you're saying is valid as you're talking.
Real quick, Tiff. Sorry, 1 second. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear Tiff well. I just want to make sure that it's set up correctly. Go ahead, Tiff.
Okay. I really just wanted to know, one, I think it's good that you're talking about the qualifications, but two, the other thing that I wonder is like, do we need to start having a conversation about is there a benefit to being pro-Black if there's going to be all these stipulations? Okay. I'm just kind of questioning if we're going to, I get concerned when we have purity politics, because if we have a baseline, if you're not causing harm, if you are for the Black community and you're trying to be progressive, I think that sometimes somebody like Tenga, which I think he is absolutely pro-Black, that would be the person that has the voice. But I think that you can have support from people that they may not fit within the realm of, if it's time to make decisions or if it's a leadership type thing, you're just disqualified. And I don't understand why certain people don't even understand that. It's not saying you're less than Black, it's saying you've done something outside of what benefits the community fully, and that you still support Black people, you are for Black folks, but when it's time to make certain decisions, when it's time to do certain things, your voice is just not weighed the same. And that's in most, like all other aspects of life, even in our homes.
So
there's a, go ahead.
Well, so what makes their voice not weighed the same? Sorry.
So if I marry out,
okay,
I understand that a lot of my allegiance may be to Black people, but because my spouse is not a Black man, then the way that I view things, I'm going to have a different point of view. Like, we just have to be honest. My point of view is going to be completely different. And to me, when you start talking about like the whoremongering or if you're gay or this and that, people are okay until it's their thing. And if you know you have a thing that's outside of the constructs, like I never say anything about the brotherhood. I believe what the Hebrew Israelites are doing for a Black man is A1. I don't have anything negative to say. I know for me, the dietary things and certain things, I'm not going to have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because that's not something you play with. So why can't we be that serious with our community? You can't say, I love everything about the Hebrew Israelites, but I'm not going to keep the diet. Let me in. It doesn't work that way. So to have a stern type of foundation, it's not saying I can't be, I'm not living up to those laws. And until I do, I don't have a right to call myself a Hebrew Israelite. I don't. So you can be for Black people, but if your life is not congruent, you don't get to have the same voice. You don't get to come up and complain. I don't, like, for me, my kicking thing is, how do you complain about Black women and their behavior and their decorum, and your wife or your partner is not Black? That's, to me, like you've opted out of that conversation. That conversation you've opted out of. But other things, yeah, you can be a part of.
Okay.
I'm not having a conversation about young children. My son is grown.
Okay. So you're saying, depending on the category, I may or may not be qualified to speak based on a construct that I'm a part of?
Yes. There are certain things, and I'll use a prime example. Remember when I first came on here, I was telling you like, oh, my son played football. And you was like, that's cute. And I was like, no, my son played football. You said he played football. And on top of that, he played at a high school level. I played at a college level. You don't know what I know. Do you know what I have to do then? Fall back. I get to speak as a mother that had a football player, and I can talk to other moms about what I did. But when it comes to playing the game of football, I don't have the same buy-in. I don't have the same experience. So my voice is not the same. That's time for me to fall back and let him take over.
Okay. So you're saying it's almost like categorical.
Yes.
But are you also eliminating them for the one thing? So if their spouse is not Black, are you saying that they're absolutely eliminated from being pro-Black?
No, I don't think you're not pro-black. I think that when it comes to black relationships, and I'm saying a fully black man and a fully black woman, your input is limited because your life is not, you don't have the same qualms. And they have different issues that I would never know about. You have certain things that I would never dare to speak on. I'm not white. My spouse is not white. So whatever goes on in interracial marriages, I don't relate to that. That's a subject that they can talk about and the things that they need to work on.
Okay. So you're saying, so you're just saying categorically. Now, do you think that because their spouse is white or other, that eliminates them from talking about black relationships altogether? What about their past or previous experience? What about the construct of family in which they grew up in? So Noah actually put this in the chat. We on the exact same page. Does Frederick Douglass, because at the end of his life, married that white woman, is he now eliminated from talking about black relationships?
At that point, yeah. I mean, because the primary of his work that was done with his black wife. When he was in the twilight of his life, a lot of the things had been accomplished with the black spouse.
Okay. Now, I have a super chat here, and Tiff, if you don't mind, you could wait if you don't mind waiting, just hanging out in the back. We got one more caller up, but I want to get your input on this, and I'll bring you back. I just want to rotate a little bit,
I got you.
Salute my brother Mont in the building with the $5. He said, is your input limited when commenting on interracial relationships? Because typically you feel like you all can comment. So does it work both ways? To where you see, hey, you interracial, you need to hush because you don't do that. So does it work like that in tandem?
Is that a question for me?
Yes. Did you see what Mont said? He's saying you shouldn't talk about interracial relationships either then.
I don't, and I don't care. And that's the thing. Like, your situation is different. I'm not speaking on your situation. Frankly, I don't care. But when it's talking with you.
Well, you say, do we look down upon? So you and then the majority upon black men who date women of other races. We have a lot of conversation about that.
I think, what was the quote yesterday? Love is love. That blew me. So when we have a lot to say about our fellow black people, but then when it comes time to be in partnership and you don't want me to speak on your partner, I can absolutely respect it. But then I'm gonna ask for you not to speak on fully black relationship stuff. Like when it's interracial stuff, talk about it. But if we're talking about black people and black relationships and black marriages, just sit down. Like everybody can't be in every conversation. And 100%. I think that's.
But Tip, does it work both ways? Do you not get that? Do black people not to get to talk about interracial marriages?
In the concepts of how it works, no, we can say it's not beneficial to the culture and we don't have to address it. And if y'all have y'all's issues, do that with other interracial couples.
Okay. So Mahogany real quick. Salute to Mahogany in the building. My sister who came to support me in my boxing match said, for the conversation, great topic. Okay. So Tiff, hang out if you don't mind. I'm asking if you can. And then I'm just gonna mute you and then I'll rotate you, okay? Black America, did you want to panel up or you good?
Perfect. I'm good right here. I just wanted to say something. So Hamp,
yes, sir.
Me and you both had fathers, right? We didn't grow up derelict or poor.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you were living in a neighborhood and you were between 7 and let's say 10 years old, did you live around in a mixed community?
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, right, I lived in a mixed community. My dad, like I said, worked hard, provided us a decent life. I had a friend who was white. A little friend who was white, right?
Yeah.
When I did anything, whether it was gang banging, getting jumped, getting shot at, I had been rocking with that dude for 10 years. That was besides my cousin, that was my stomp down partner. So what I want to know is, because I'm not pro-black, right? If you run in my house versus a white boy run in my house, the same thing is going to happen. Y'all going to get ground up and fed to the dogs. I'm not going to treat you any different.
Okay.
So I don't consider myself pro-black. So am I a bad person for not considering myself pro-black?
No, I don't think you're a bad person, right? But you're not pro-black, right? Now, I'm trying to, because I have ideologies that rule my my existence. So nobody's really good, but that's a separate conversation. But you're not for the community.
So let's. So I can't say that, because my club and the things that I do, we adopt schools, right? So where the schools where the less fortunate children are, we go and the number one thing for like homeless people is socks and undergarments.
Yeah.
So we all get together. We do backpacks for school drives. We do socks and underwear, for the children, like in all the disadvantaged schools in the black neighborhood. Now, we don't live in the black neighborhoods anymore because we don't have to, right? But we do those things.
Okay.
So am I not helping the community, or am I not pro-black? Am I bad? Because I got some white boys, they my dogs. And I'm talking about over the only living blood brother. They are my dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, sorry, I answered quickly when you were initially talking, right? So I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually what the conversation is stemming from. Black America, right? People are being eliminated from being pro-black for one criteria, but then the people that are eliminating them don't meet several other criteria. You see? So you having white friends, because that's what you're saying essentially, right? Does that disqualify
Mexican white? Yeah.
Yeah. Does that disqualify you from being pro-black? But then you got black children, black girlfriends and wives. Your company, your what is it called? I don't want to say it. Not group. Is it still called like gang organization? Right? Donates to the school, help the kids. You came to my boxing match. You brought the baby with you. Right? So you may check all these boxes to get you to 90% to where you don't got no choice but to be pro-black based on how you living.
God damn it.
You can't eliminate yourself if you check the boxes. Trump. Sorry, go ahead.
And I didn't vote for Trump. I'll say, and I didn't vote for Trump. Perfect. But I couldn't vote for Kamala either because I don't view her as black.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
The Mexicans don't say the Guatemalans and the people from Honduras are Mexican, and then the Spanish call the Mexicans, y'all not Spanish, and all of they ass speak Spanish, right? They all speak Mexican, but we as black people, for you people that haven't been around any places, Aborigine people, right? They live in Australia, right? Mm-hmm. The women over there are fucking gorgeous, right? Yeah. Some of them kind of skinny, but they're really pretty women. But when I went over there, they was like, "Oh, you're not like us. You're like a different kind of black." We don't divide. Some people don't divide ourselves from these different blacks. And like I said, it's just me and the times that I grew up in, but we in America grew up in different classes. I've never got to play with Michael Jordan's son, or I've seen other people's sons that were super rich and shit like that, but they weren't my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. That white boy or Mexican boy that you grew up with around the corner, that you walk to school with each other every day, that's your base. Yeah, so you can't. To me, that conversation yesterday, it was like you have to do these things to be pro-black.
Yeah.
And I'm not understanding it. I'm not digging it.
So here's the thing, right? Let me just clear it up. And I got Saint Swarthy. If you're not busy, Black America, I'm gonna bring everybody together. I just want to make sure everybody got it, their chance to get their shit off. Kind of.
No, you know me. I'm a jump down shit. I got a monster to drink and people to yell at.
Word. So I think what you're articulating is, a lot of times people are doing a thing that qualify the thing, and they never say it out loud. This reminds me of the conversation about if you got to keep telling her to lead, you're the leader, you probably not the leader, right? Most times people do, and people appoint them to a thing because they see it in them, right? Nobody asked me to be football captain. They made me the football captain in high school, you see? Because of whatever traits and qualities that most people believed I possessed to do that job. Like when the OGs on YouTube hit me up and say, Hamp, we believe in you, you do X, Y, and Z. Not because I asked them. They told me, hey, Hamp, I think you could do X, Y, and Z, man. Here's what I can help you with. Here's what I can help you with. When some of the guys who've been doing this for a long time, they text me out of nowhere. Hey, man, keep grinding. Good job, man. We see, right? They saying it to me. And so that's how this works, Black America. You don't got no fucking choice. Sorry. You do too much good shit for black people. You got black kids. You got, right? Your 3 white boy friends don't disqualify you. You don't have to say it. Your life will represent what you are. So that actually goes with how you live anyway. Damn, boy.
Okay. All right. Well, so then I'm gonna need. I don't know. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna need you guys. I'm going to try and listen with a different inner ear, right? Because it's like you Hebrew Israelite, and I'd have been down 5 times, 5 different places, right? Mm-hmm. I done had a long ass life. I see when brothers come in, and whether they are Hebrew Israelites or whether they Muslims, most of the niggas started in prison, right? They started when they get locked up because for one they come in, they new thing, they scared as fuck. So they say, well, I don't want to be with this clique or that clique, and they know that Hebrew Israelites and the Muslim brothers, they not gonna sell them for cigarettes. You see what I mean? By the time I hit the pen, I was already pressing for plates. I wasn't scared about anything like that. So
land that plane, Black America.
It's like, okay. So all I'm saying is, life is not about cutting people off necessarily. It's about growing your family and bringing people in and finding reasons to disqualify people. I don't ever, unless they disqualify themselves, I don't never see as a good, valid thing. Yeah. And that's it. No, but y'all have a good day. I'm gonna be listening to you, brother.
All right, no doubt. Hey, I'm gonna say this, man. I think that we do need disqualifiers, right? And we just got to see what qualifies people. I think we just too loose on what we require from others. There should be requirements. They just have to be fair. They have to make sense. That's the key. Saint, can you hear me? You on mute? I'm gonna read these, then we're gonna get you in. All right. My brother Martin, the building with the $5 says, is your input limited when commenting on interracial? Okay, I read that one. Sorry. Martin with the $5 says, it's so interesting because the women who comment always say they don't care. It's hard to take that seriously. Mont with the $5 says, if my 3 ex-wives are white and I'm now with a black woman, I can't comment on interracial marriage? Respectfully, that makes 0 sense. Mont with the $5 says, if I cut hair for 30 years and been retired for 2, I can't comment on my experience cutting hair? Maybe retired players shouldn't coach football as well. Charleston SC was popping. But the 20 ball says, I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. I grew up in the hood for the most part, and I dated black women most of my life until my late 20s. Now I only date white women. But I'm always front line if my black people need me. That is interesting, brother. And that's what I was asking about Freddie. If Frederick Douglass eliminated Charleston, then I don't think you got a chance. You know, and that's what Black Dawn concern was. Does it take one thing to just eliminate somebody? You know, or do they have to check several boxes? So that's interesting. Saint Swarthy, can you hear me, good brother? You on mute still?
Shalom. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. What up, King? How you?
Man, chilling. Peace and blessings to everybody in the chat. DJ Hamp, Shalom. Ak, it's always good to see you, brother.
You already, Ak?
You recently had a boxing match?
Yeah, I had a boxing match about a month ago now, right, Tiff? About a month ago. You can nod, I can see. Yeah, about a month ago. It was good though. I had like 40 people out there to support me. So it was love for sure.
Nice. I haven't fought in mixed martial arts in probably like 5 years, but I've been in 14 kickboxing matches. I know what it's like to be in combat sports, so I always commend anybody who has the bravery to train and go fight somebody else who is trained as well. Yes, so I want to commend and salute you on that. It takes a lot of courage and heart to do that.
For sure, man. Appreciate you, Ak. For sure, man. Damn. So what you think?
I mean, obviously, being a practicing Israelite, the Bible is really big on taking a daughter of the house of thy father's seed, meaning marrying a woman within your own ethnic group. And I think that if you do come back to being pro-black and its fundamental root meaning, which is the black man, woman, and child, then you shouldn't have the desire to even want to speak on an interracial relationship, even if you've been in one before. It's about going forward as a community of black people. I've grown to learn that homogeny is important. There are certain biological connections that come with procreating with your own people. There are certain bonds that take place when you keep it homogenous within your own group. So I do think it's important. I think Negro-only relationships shouldn't have the desire to speak on mixed relationships. And I think people that are in mixed relationships really shouldn't have the desire to speak on black-only families, because there's a decision that you made to go forward without that particular school of thought or criteria, right? So I think as a community of black people, we should be past the point of talking about anybody else but us. And to the black people who want to keep it Negro only, that's fine. Black people who don't want to, that's okay too. But I noticed there's more of a demonization that comes with black people who only want to procreate with themselves, as opposed to black people who go out and interracially date. Like, I would be called a racist for saying I think black people should marry among themselves. People will literally call me that, even though I'm a descendant of chattel slavery. You know, and black people are retaliating against racism when they develop the lack of trust in the groups of people that have had us as captives. So I think if you're in an interracial relationship, you shouldn't even have the desire to want to speak on black-only families, and vice versa. I don't think we should even have the desire to want to speak on interracial relationships if we made a conscious decision to go forward with a Negro-only or fundamentally pro-black family. And I have to say that because pro-black has been morphed and changed to where you can be pro-black and be with a non-black person. And I do have to disagree with that. So I would just step out of the pro-black realm, live my life, and enjoy my family if I decided not to marry a black woman. I wouldn't even have the desire to speak on interracial relationships because I would be past that already.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. So you disagree with the criteria notion. So what I was proposing, right, for the interest in the conversation was you got 100 boxes to check, right? Essentially, if you check 90, you qualify as pro-black, even if one of the 90 isn't you're married to a black woman. But you saying that one, if you don't check that one, you absolutely are eliminated. That's how you would see it.
It has to be a zero tolerance offense, because as black people, we have not had the opportunity to truly be about ourselves since being released as slaves. A lot of non-black people will jump in the comment section and say, well, what do you mean you guys only want to procreate among black people? The same way we have epigenetical trauma from slavery, there's an epigenetic entitlement that other groups of people that owned us have when you try to separate and get away from them. So a lot of times I wonder if when black people say they only want to procreate with themselves, are you sincerely mad that we want to do it? Or are you trying to somehow hold on to a servant? Because people do see us as their emotional support pets, and a lot of times it's non-black women that come in the comment sections and say, well, why do you guys have to do that? And why can't you? I shouldn't have to explain to you why. Are you a slave owner trying to reestablish yourself, try to reestablish me as a slave? No, I don't want to be in your house. Give me about 100 years to get away from you, and then let me see if I like you. But a lot of times, it's just the other nations just want to hold on to us. What do you mean? I can't come to the cookout. I can't be at the hip-hop function. You don't want to be in a relationship with me? It becomes narcissistic at some point in time. And these are people that just want to hold on to black people and don't want to let them go.
So let me ask you a question, Saint, right? So now, are you a part of the Negro-only tribes?
I am a Negro-only Israelite, but according to the house of your father, I do believe there are Israelites among Mexicans and Native Americans. I do. But concerning integrity and not getting caught up in trying to fetishize other groups of women, I think it's wise for us, even in camps that teach that Mexicans and Native Americans are Israelites with Negroes. I still think it's wise for us to make marriages among the Negroes, for Mexicans to make marriages among Mexicans, and for Native Americans to make marriages among Native Americans to at least give a token of sincerity to the people, because if a beautiful woman walks up that descends from a conquistador, and I just happen to have Mexicans or Israelites on the sign, right? Who's to say that I'm not going to manipulate the scriptures and get caught up in the flesh? Oh, this is an Israelite sister, and my other wives is looking like, this bitch ain't no daughter of Zion. You playing. So it just, to me, it's more genuine, because when I worked at the airport, it was this beautiful Brazilian woman that was in my face, and I could tell she wasn't Afro-Brazilian or a descendant of the Brazilians that were Israelites. So, I just told her, like, I only make marriages among Negro women. You're a beautiful woman, but I can't accept your advances at this time. Yeah. So to me, it's about being sincere. I'm a Negro-only Israelite, but I do believe you are who your father is. I believe the sisters should teach what the Bible says they should teach, and what the Bible says Adam should teach, he should teach. So that's the difference between me and the other Negro-only Israelites, because I don't approve of some of the things that they're doing and saying.
No, I really enjoy your breakdown and understanding, right? You give. I'll use what's the word that, to be fair, like credence, like, okay, cool, right? But even still, stay within your tribes. And I think that like you said, the integrity factor is high with that. And I've seen that, bro, where it is this dude, he used to come up here all the time, and then he got stuck having to have a conversation about who his wife was, right? Because she walked by accident. I wish I could find the stream, and it was a white lady, and he's like, well, we scattered to all four corners. I said, see, here you go.
Right. Not to say that there aren't Israelites among white people.
Yeah, 100%. But it just,
you're using the scriptures to take a strange wife and justify it because you're caught up in a fleshly lust right now.
Yeah. To your point.
And I gotta call it out. Yeah. I gotta call it out. So, even though I do believe there are Israelites among people that are not black, just to keep it sincere with the Most High, from an integrity standpoint, I'm teaching the Negroes to only make marriages with the Negroes, Mexicans to only make marriages with Mexicans, and Native Americans to only make marriages with Native Americans. And even when heathens walk up while I'm out there preaching, I tell the young white woman, you need to go find a white man and marry him. And I tell the Chinese man the same thing. So it's about integrity at the end of the day, because we are the priest of the Most High, and we are the teachers of the Bible. So you have to tell the truth, and you can't get caught up in those things that you were a part of before you found out you were an Israelite.
Yeah. 100%. Damn, man, that is awesome, man. Hey, Shalom. Hey, man, I'm proud of you. It's a blessing to see you, man. Damn, that's a good. I think you gave people something to process, So I appreciate it, man. Damn.
Hey, Shalom, brother. Thanks for having me, brothers and sisters. Y'all pray for me, because I was going to have a couple people meet me at the Academy of Mixed Martial Arts up here in Minnesota. Because I get into it with people on YouTube all the time, and a lot of people don't know I actually am a fighter. So I was going to have some people come up here and meet me, but that's carnal, and that's not right for me to do as an Israelite man, family. So pray for me that I can repent from that and get myself back right with Yahweh. Appreciate y'all, family.
All right, be safe. Shalom.
Right, shalom, kid.
Brother came up here and cooked, man. The Blackberry, salute for your first super chat on a live stream ever. Being this 50 ball to this might be risky. Yo, facts, Sean. Yo, Sean. Word is born, son. And he was just flowing. You see, he ain't stutter, he ain't stop because he know what he know. You know what I mean? And he thought through it. Marcus with the $5 says, yo, big bro Hamp. What up, my brother? Thank you for this important conversation. Keep cooking. I got you. Oh, Gun with the $5 says, my thing about what the bro said, who said black people should only mate with black people. If a white person said the same thing, would you respect their point of view? Oh, yeah, 100%. That brother right there, yes, 1,000%. Right? We expect nothing less. 100%. Of course you respect that. Yes. Yes. You know, that advice goes for everybody. Remember he as he expounded on his thoughts, Ogun, remember he said, yeah, Mexican with Mexican, Native American with Native American. So that just goes down the line. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Rakay, what up, my bro? Do I be saying, they said I be messing up my brother's name. Rakay Media, Rose tried to correct me, but Rose only 18 years old, so. All right. Well, make sure you correct me, bro. Rakay Media with the 10 ounces. DJ Hamp, thanks for thought-provoking topics. Am I pro-black? This is a good one. Thank you, sir. Supporting my interests. Salute to my brother Rakay Media in the building. Appreciate you, my brother. It's always good to see you, man. My OG Vet Life in the building with the $10 says, DJ Hamp, Tiff, good topic. Definitely food for thought. So my last wife of 13 years was black. We set up businesses, black, etc. Now I'm remarried to a Latino for 4 years. Now that doesn't matter. So that's one of Mont's. Mont was kind of running down. So here's what I do. I'll bring Tiff back. Tiff, can you unmute, please? So Tiff, it seems like they had a decent amount of pushback about your sentiments, especially when you said Fred can no longer be pro-black. The Frederick Douglass, might I add, the person. Well, you say he can't speak on black relationships anymore. Frederick Douglass.
That's it. That's all I said. And
so now, just mind you, now this is Frederick Douglass. You know, right. Frederick Douglass is one of the top 2 reasons why Carter G. Woodson started Negro History Week in February. That was then extended to a month to commemorate a part of that week, Frederick Douglass' birthday.
So let me just say what I find concerning and what irritates me. If you have to acknowledge that you had a black wife and now you're married to a Latino woman, you're acknowledging that there's a difference between those 2 women, but you don't want me to acknowledge it. When Frederick Douglass was married to a black woman, his relationship with that black woman was going to have different obstacles and different things that needed to be addressed. Because things that happen within a fully black couple are different with things that happen with interracial marriages. I literally said to you, I have a child, but my son is an adult. If we start having conversations about things that school-age children need, who becomes the expert? You do. Because your children are in the school system of right now. I can come, I can support, I can be of help to you and your family. But the voice that matters would be you and your wife, because your children are directly affected by the school system. When you opt out of a fully black marriage, you no longer have the same voice. And I don't understand why people want to one-off everything. Be okay with sitting out some conversations. You don't have to be centered in everything. And it's odd to me that people want to be centered in things that don't directly affect them anymore. I thank you for the black business that you've created. I know how he feels about black people. I'm not questioning your love for black folks. I'm saying when we're talking about black relationships in the state of, your critique, you've opted out of that. Tiff, and why do you go ahead?
Tiff, well, I guess the question is though, right? We got our brother Vet Life, who said he was married for 14 years, did all these things with a black woman, had children, I assume, with a black woman. His family is also black, right? He has black people around him in relationships, right? That's his, and he from North Jersey, right? That's, I think, my black Vet Life, you from North Jersey or like mid South? I forget. Let me know. But so his life has been enthralled in that specifically, right? He loses the ability.
He should not talk about black marriages.
How so you're saying all his experience is negated with because of the latter part of his life?
His life has changed. He's living a new reality. So bask in that reality. Your reality has changed. Your day-to-day has changed. And that's okay.
Okay.
I don't understand that. Like, I don't even understand. It's like, I'm not gay. I don't need to talk about what gay people are talking about. If y'all are talking about the state of gay America and whatever that is, that's a y'all conversation. Everything doesn't have to be centered around you. It doesn't. And everybody wants to talk about everything. There are some conversations that you're not going to be centered in, and be okay with that.
Okay. So his new experience negates all his old ones.
No, his new reality is what he's free to speak on.
Okay. Salute to TNBN with the thumbs up. Mont once again said, let it's okay for her to say, I can't substantiate this with logic, but it's still how I feel, and we won't push back. So, Tiff, you're saying that just how you feel about this conversation?
Yeah, it just is what it is. And I think that you understand there are certain things, and this is when you talk about, like, when y'all have the who super hard and I was a thug and I did this in the streets, and people that were really about that life, you literally can see when people are capping, but y'all are very kind and you don't put people in the mix. When we don't say, hey, if you don't have a black wife, you don't get to talk about this. We will have a black man come up here that's never dated black women, that has everything to say about how awful black women are. Why are you a part of this conversation? You don't date black women. So to me, my question is, why do you want to speak on this topic? Is it because you want to find a black wife, but based on your conversation, that's not how you feel? So just opt out of that conversation.
Okay.
Like, you don't have a black wife. You don't want to be with a black woman. You've chose to be with a different woman, and that's okay. I mean, if I had a white husband, Hamp, and then every time I came up here and I started saying black men are this and black men are that and black men are this, you literally would say what? But your husband ain't black. So I just find it interesting that we give space for people to come and degrade on certain folks when you're not even interested. So you're not being pro-black, because not only are you speaking down on black women, you don't really want to be with a black woman. You're being a hindrance to the conversation. So instead of people being able to have conversations about people that fully want black relationship to work, you got to now fight the noise. So instead of having the noise there, you say, hey, this is really not your speed. This isn't your topic. Fall back on this.
No, I understand. I catch your drift. I understand your point, that you're running down. I guess the one thing that, I guess it's like that person having an interest in it is one thing, right? Because they are, they own what they own. But the fact that he experienced it, I just don't know if I want to negate that experience to be included in a conversation. Like, as an example, if he's talking about the modus operandi and the reasons why or why not, wouldn't his input be important for the reason why maybe he's married to a woman of a different race at this juncture? Like, are we saying, because think about it, like, wouldn't he be still qualified to critique or give his 2 cents, right?
No.
When people fail or when people win, speaking to both those people on either side gives you great insight. Failures give you great insight too, right? They could tell you maybe how not to lose, what they could have done differently, and the winners give you great insight on what they did to get the number one spot. But all of that information you can use to benefit yourself going forward. No.
Limited, but no, I don't find those conversations. That's not the point of view that typically comes from. It's typically a punching down. Like, we normally don't have a black man say, well, I came up there and here are all of the reasons that our marriage didn't work, and this is what a black woman could do different. That's not how those conversations are going. Like, I want us to start having a level of integrity. And again, what I find interesting is the minute that people understand that they can't speak on everything, that's when the windmilling starts. And it's okay to kind of fall back and just say, like, hey, I don't have the record to speak on this. Or even if I am somewhat interested, there are people that are more qualified or within certain situations that they should have allowed a microphone.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's interesting, man. I catch your drift. Let me read these before I just reply too quickly. Okay. Rachai. Okay. Salute to Rachai. He said, Hamp, Rachai is pronounced Rachai like chai tea. It's my Turkish name. Long story for another conversation. Okay. All right. Cool. Rachai, salute, my brother. I'll get it right going forward. Mount with the $5 says, so black elders can't speak on the rearing of black children? Let me not take my mom's advice, who raised 5 kids. Respectfully, get the fuck out of here. Vet Life for the $10 says, mad love, Tiff, but I disagree. My Latina wife is on my program concerning me as a black man. From my lingo, my concerns, to everything I do for our people monetarily. But I get your point. Walk was popping with the $2. An ex-single mother speaking on black families. Mountain with the $5 says, she just switched it to never been with a black woman. LOL. Ask her why was it necessary to do that if the original argument was strong. Well, no, you may have said never, but you saying even if he has and he's not anymore, same difference.
I just said that when the situation changes, the situation changes. If you're married and then you get a divorce, then you are a divorced person talking about marriage. So if you were talking about people in current marriages, you know who shouldn't be calling in? Divorcees. So, if it's a day where you're saying divorcees, then let the divorcees come in. Like, again, the windmilling, I find it's good to highlight, and I hope that we can go back and kind of look at it as when you said the gate is too wide, it's so open that people want to talk about things that they shouldn't even want to talk about.
Okay, let me get through these and we can go back. So Mom, but her argument is they never been with a black woman, or if they have and aren't any longer, she giving them the same level of credence, which is 0. You know? So let me see. All right, let me see. Imperial with the 10 ounces from, he said, how do you disqualify someone's opinion when they have firsthand experience? Their experience may have influenced the change. That gives their opinion credence and weight to the argument they make. Vet Life with the $10 says, Tiff, majority of the brothers who have non-black wives who frequent this channel don't do that, including myself. We are usually fair and balanced. Let's be honest, sis. It's a select few on the bullshit. So, Tiff, how does that work?
I want to understand the need for the caveat, because again, why, if you are no longer in a fully black marriage and your marriage did not work and you have opted out, you have made a choice that no longer includes you within 2 fully black current marriages. Current. Once you do something different, it's different. It's not right. It's not wrong. It's just different. So your point of view is different. How you feel about things are going to be different. How you're experiencing that marriage is going to be different. If other people want to seek out that information and they feel like that's a valid point of view, I think that that person is you free to do that.
Let's go back.
But for me,
let's go back. Now, how does that work though? Right? So if you have I just want to see, does this ideology extrapolate? So divorced people shouldn't speak on marriage. If you did have a kid before you got married, does that disqualify you from speaking about families? I'm saying in the construct of the stronghold of, the nuclear family.
If a comment was made that we only want to talk to people that had children within marriage, then I'm no longer qualified. And I'm not gonna fight to be included. Because if you planned your children, had a plan for your children, and you approach parenthood differently, then I have to honor the fact that the way that you brought those children into the world is vastly different. You planned your children. I did not. I have one. But there is, the conversation is different because your plan was different. How you approached parenthood was different. So no, I no longer get to say, well, this is what you do when you bringing in kids. No, I have to say I was a young mother. Yeah. And I can tell you I can say the difficulties, but I definitely would say, okay, when it's time to talk about rearing children,
100%. They don't want it. I'm saying you are, but you are eliminated from the conversation.
Absolutely.
Now, Tiff, think about that, right? You're consistent in the logic for the sake of trying to keep the logic consistent, right? But think about that for a second. There's no way that I can't go to my big sis Tiff because of the way in which she had her children and say, your opinion matters not here because of your experience in having children. That's still the consistent part. You had a child. You had to raise it. You understand difficulty and hardship. There's nuance to it based on the construct, right? Mm-hmm. But for us to say, oh, her children came before she got married, fuck what she got to say. That would be foolhardy, right? Because you know better than anybody just how hard it can actually be. Remember you said, remember your dad said, you know what? If you need me, call me, but I ain't fucking with you. Remember? Right?
And how many people said, how do you disown your children? And as a daughter,
no. I'm saying take this walk with me. I'm saying think about that though, right? Mm-hmm. So you had to get it. You had to push. You had to do it. You know, all the sleepless nights, all the sleepless nights for you because you was doing it by yourself. So there's no way that your experience is rendered moot when having a conversation about rearing kids because you had your kid before you got married and the other people didn't. You see? So I understand you keeping your logic consistent. I'm just asking you to assess it.
And I'm saying to you, Hamp, if somebody said, we're going to get young women, right? Young women and young men. We're going to start talking about how do we plan a family. Mm-hmm. The person that should be talking to those young people would be you and your wife.
Or
because I can talk to them as an additive. I can talk to them as a cautionary.
There we go. Yo, Tiff.
But here's the thing. But
we learned the hard way. You see,
the expertise is the people that did the family planning. I have friends that literally they planned their kids, even to the point to where like in vitro they were determined. Their kids go to private school. They have tutors. Their approach to parenthood was so different and so specific that is the voice that I want to hear speaking. That is the voice that should be loudest within the community because those are people that are parenting with a purpose. That is a pro-black family.
Okay.
That they're
100%. We're saying that because what it is you there's decisions, there's things that happen, and it's like we get eliminated because essentially we can't recover, you know. Right. And you're saying like, hey, you know your experience, even though you did have it, you were a part of it. We have to dismiss it because you're a part of that construct. And I just think we would lose a lot of valuable information when doing that.
Yeah, and I'm saying the voice, and notice what I've said is like the voice is weighted differently. It's not that I can't have any opinion, but the opinion to me that is most beneficial for the Black community is the family that planned that child within the confines of a marriage, and they had a plan for their children. That is who the community should be listening to.
I see. You're saying like the qualified opinions?
Right.
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand the qualified opinion argument, right? Because maybe your talking point, because like when Mont was pushing back at you, right? Maybe your talking point of how you started is maybe you developing it as we go, right? Because that qualified opinion part comes in. Okay, I understand that better. So maybe what it is, and I'm talking to Mont, but I'm talking to everybody just to clarify what Tip's saying is, maybe it is like, hey, well, you did it the most right. Let's just use that terminology, right? When that person starts talking, that's a person that we should listen to more intently, or give what they're saying more credence, right? It doesn't fully discredit the person who did it in a different way or the way that's not most desired, because they still have the experience, and so because there's a lot of valuable information, but I think that what I was mostly talking about was the pro-Black sentiment and what checks off, what checks you off. So Tiff, are you of the mindset that one thing can absolutely disqualify you from being pro-Black? That's a yes or no. I'm gonna read these things and then you can expound. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So, all right. So Tyson with the $5 says, "This is ridiculous. Some of the best lessons in life are taught through failure. Failure does not disqualify you from conversations." Okay. Caesar. Salute. Hamp, we are not pro-Black if you start talking about your African brothers overseas or here in the U.S., now all of a sudden the pro-Blacks are silent. We don't care about those blacks. It should only be about the work. 20 years or 2 months done. Ricardo with the $5 says, "These things that disqualify folks from the conversation is making it seem like people don't actually want to have the conversation. Just an echo chamber." Is this person? All right. So let me see. I don't know, man. Which so Mont, did you get the link?
Hamp, I think what we really need to just be honest on is like, if you want to be a part of the conversation, are you having a conversation because you want to see the Black community be better? Are you really invested? And if not, let the people that are trying to build. That's it, full stop. And if your particular situation is not one that the Black community can build with or build upon, and it's not in alignment with certain guidelines, then just be okay with not doing that. Like, I think we're the only culture, and we were talking about this in the Discord, like, you are a Hebrew Israelite, you have to keep the diet. Hasidic Jews don't give a damn. If you're not a Hasidic Jew, there are certain areas you can't go in. There are certain things that everybody is just not a part of, and you respect it. But I find it odd when we start talking about policing and having pro-Blackness and gatekeeping, because we've let everybody in, everybody thinks, no, I can be in. No, baby, you can't. And that means even for me, it's going to be some situations I cannot be a part of the conversation. And if I am for the Black community, I'm going to politely sit outside, wait, and whoever's a part, they're going to come back and disseminate the information. There are some conversations I'm not going to be a part of. And I'm okay with that if that is going to help Black people. Because the goal is to help Black people and get out of our ego. Because what I see a lot of is a lot of ego coming in. Because again, it's not centered around yourself. and you don't have to be centered in all conversations. You just don't.
Okay, let me do this. Mont, what's popping?
What up? What up? What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing today?
Good, good. Why you smiling?
Hey, Mont.
So, do you want to engage with Tiff? If so, I don't know if Tiff dressed though. Are you dressed, Tiff? All right. I had to bring y'all on screen. Are you good? Are you good with that, Tiff? And then after y'all engage, I'm gonna laugh at both of y'all and leave. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to the gym. All right.
I gotta get my hair for the night. So
yeah. All right. Let me do this real quick.
Hey, Mont.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I like your glasses.
Thank you. You always look nice. Is that your thing to be to the side? Like every time you're on the show like that? Is that your...
It's my new thing. I'm trying it.
Okay.
Yeah, he used to be...
I've noticed it. I like it. It's cool. That's what's up.
You never seen... Mont used to be like Wilson off Tool Time, where you can only see his eye. Yo, what's good though?
What up? Nah, I just had I wanna take this walk with Tiff. I wanna see if this makes sense, if her logic stands up. Because if it does stand up, then it's something that we should use.
Mm-hmm.
So why not? You made a comment about not taking the advice of an elder in the case of if I have grade school age kids, then the elder, for example, I'm a little bit more qualified than them to comment on that. Is that
No,
yeah?
Let's walk this down. So what I said is this: my son is grown, graduated. We've matriculated all the way through, right? If you have young children now, the school system is completely different. The rules are different. The things that kids are going through are completely different. So I can talk to you as a parent that my child is matriculated through, but I also understand that the school system that your children are going in are very different. So the person that has the loudest voice is the parent with the children in the classroom. Now, you and I can consult and talk about different ways that might work, but I can't say, well, I raised the kid and this is what I did. Well, yes, I did. But the school that your kid is going to is completely different. My son learned cursive. They don't teach cursive. The way that school systems are set up are completely different. And I know this because I have a niece that's in second grade, a nephew that's in pre-K, and a niece that's in high school. But these are my nieces and nephews, right? So if the mom calls me, I can give my point of view, but my point of view never outweighs the need for her and those kids because they are directly impacted.
I understand that. So I guess what I disagree with is so if my kids are currently in school, right, that means that some of the variables that I have to deal with are different. Mm-hmm. So that means that maybe I have some information that I could give you to help you understand a little bit more on what we're going through. But that doesn't mean that doesn't necessarily mean that I have the best. I'll have a better solution than you, being somebody who may have raised 5 kids, 6 kids, or whatever. Right? You may just not know certain things, but all I need to do is tell you those certain things, like, oh, now we learn this, and then we do this, and these are the way that we learn it now. And then now you can give me a better understanding, knowing that I equip you with that information. But I wouldn't necessarily just blanket say my kids are in school now, which means that I know better than you. It just means that I might have a couple different bits of information. But somebody who has raised children and have had success and did it the right way, their advice is paramount. It's their experience is like, you can't take that away from them, and it'll be useful to the younger people.
And I agree, but what did I say? The person who has the loudest voice, because again, I'm talking about when people want to come in and dominate the conversation. I don't get to come and dominate the conversation if people with children, you have a small child, and y'all are having a conversation about what's happening in schools today, and I'm talking about what happened in schools 20 years ago.
That makes a lot of sense right there.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so if you said that men who aren't dating a black woman right now, let's say a man has experience for 20 years, I've only dated a black woman, and now I'm with a white woman, that you have input, and your input is reasonable and it's valid, right? However, We just don't want you to dominate the conversation when it comes to what we are going to deal with moving forward, right? Like we appreciate everything that you have to say and we want to learn from you. However, we don't think that you should dominate the conversation if this isn't something that you want to do moving forward. That makes sense to me. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, and that's all I'm saying. It's like when the reality changes, the reality changes. And that's okay to acknowledge that. And it doesn't take away from your experience, but what you are living now is going to be different. And again, that's okay. But for me, the issue is people want to come in and they want to dominate and not even participate. You're pushing propaganda so strong, and it's like you don't have any the wisdom, like the what's in it for me. Like, why are you here? What's in this for you? Because it's not the current state of the relationship. This is not what you're choosing to do. So I just question the motive.
Gotcha.
And very rarely is it, I want for Black men to be more successful in Black marriages, so this is what you can do differently, brothers. Like, that's not.
Okay.
Let me interject this though. I'll say that just to be fair, Tiff, Mont helped you develop your talking point with his pushback.
That's not true. We talked it out.
This is what I'm saying, right? The super chats that he was sending, your initial sentiment has developed. Maybe it was clarified because of the pushback. So, see, you only know what your initial sentiment is. We're listening to what we heard, right? So subjectively, it's clarified, and subjectively, it's developed from the pushback, which both are fine in my estimation. And I truly think that a lot of what we're saying isn't perfected until we kind of get some opposition or somebody to really check over our work. So what it developed, I'm saying developed, you saying clarified, is that person's station in the conversation, how they fit into that conversation, and how heavily their input is weighed as compared to the people who are actively dealing with it. Initially, what we heard was, yo, if you Frederick Douglass, you got to shut the fuck up.
Once you marry the right woman, you no longer can talk to me. And again, different. This to
Tiff, hold on. Well, I just want to make sure. Like that was the progression of what you initially said. That is how it started. If you rewind the stream, because it was asked, Freddie got to be quiet. You said yes. So now it developed further.
Yes. And this is what we said. I talked about with marriage with you when I said about families, and you said, no, your voice is needed. What did I say initially? If we're talking about the things that are best for the Black community, then the people that are planning for those families, those are the voices that should have the microphone. If we want to talk about what happens if you don't do it, then yeah, I can speak. But if we're talking about, again, the benefit of Black culture, and we're saying we want to steady the ship, then the people that have done it the right way need to have the mic. And if you made it in spite of, you should probably want to not say anything, because I'm cheering for people to do it the right way within the confines of a marriage with another Black person. Having kids, planning kids, having a family, having homes, creating the culture. That is what I want to see promoted. That is who I feel like should be up front.
No, I got you. I also think it's like you like reiterating what I'm saying, right? Or what I said at the end. You kind of just acknowledge it. We have to restate it. Now, Mont brought his.
I can concede. That's the new thing. Conceding is okay, so I can concede that the point has been developed.
Okay.
Can we agree to that?
Yeah, you don't have to concede. It's yours. We just work through it. Okay. Now, Mont bought his $6 ass up here just to leave.
And he walked off. Something might have happened. Doesn't he have small children?
No, he had his office. He had his office. The kids ain't even there.
You don't know that. People take their kids to work. Your kids be at work with you?
Yeah, no, he ain't bring them though. You could usually hear kids. I can't hear them. I think they in school. Salute to the kids. No, I think it's interesting, man. I think it's something that we got to talk through maybe a little bit more. But I hope people understood my overarching message is that in order to qualify for something for our community, we have to be much more stringent than what we are. I think it should take more than just one thing to make you say, yes, you are this thing. Right. Mm-hmm. And I also think elimination factors kind of need to be compiled. You know, I think all for one thing, I think we would do ourselves a disservice because we're not going to be able to check every box either, you know? And so, and maybe it should be weighted differently. So I'm thinking through it as I'm talking, you know? Because initially I'm like, nah, you out, you done. But I just wonder what I would be out for. You know?
I mean, but that's the thing. Like him, when you say, okay, well, if you had a child and you're not married, like I can't be like, but no, it's like, no, I had a child young and I was not married. There are going to be some conversations that I'm not going to be a participant in. And that is fair. You want to talk about overall parenting? I can give some, you know, some of the things, but because it wasn't traditional, there are going to be some things that I got to be the final voice on a lot of things, where if you have a father in the home, that's the final voice. So even the parenting approach, you get what I'm saying? I didn't have to consult.
Yeah.
It was this. You get what I'm saying?
Down. Yeah, it could be. And I think that you see now that right there is exactly why I was pushing back at what you're saying. Because that needs to be heard by so many. Because what you just articulated was how things were, I'll use just some language that everybody understands, out of order. Mm-hmm. And so now what happens to the child that is subject to things out of order? How do they understand or misunderstand things? For you to say that out loud is uberly important to people hearing that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a gem that, you know, for all the ones like, I'm the mom and the dad. And you be like, listen, I did it. They know you ain't.
You're not.
You know?
You're not.
So I think it's good. I think it's good. And I appreciate the input for sure. Shout out to you. Shout out to Mont. Shout out to Swank Swarthy. Shout out to Black America. Did you, ma'am?
Saint was great today.
Yeah.
He came up here and cooked.
And got up out of here. And what you think, Tiff? Do you like that calling thing?
I do, and I think you may have more people participate because some people just don't want to be on camera.
Yeah, no, the camera is our claim to fame. That this might be risky. You know, you got to be on camera. But I just thought it was cool. So maybe we'll do it more often. You know, so yeah, man, 2 hours and 12 minutes.
I'll see you tonight.
Yeah, tonight's show's gonna be dope, man. Make sure. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to have some hair in here. So to get your jokes, your cracks, all that, the first 10 to 15 minutes, go ahead, get it out. I'm preparing you. It's going to be a ponytail in here. Not too much, because last week you called me, what'd you say? Sir, ma'am, or brother, sister? I'm still on that. I ain't forget that, Hamp. You hurt my feelings. I just want you to know I'm crushed and I'm hurt on the inside.
Oh, you ain't. You damn near a sociopath. Yeah, I got you, Callie. I was about to say something. Well, I appreciate the pop-up show, man. They were pushing me to start building a Patreon again. I kind of lost just focus on it and see how we could leverage different modus operandi for the shows and etc. I'm gonna put this on members only so that Mr. Fantastic don't see it, so that he don't clown about the ponytail. So I got you. Mm-hmm. For sure, man. Salute the brother 3 times, man. Hey, man, dope ass show. I hope y'all appreciate it. I hope we could get something from it. And I really need the comments after, when you go back and watch the beginning, just with the monologue and such, to see what you guys agree with, what we disagree with, what we got to develop. So on and so forth, man. Salute to everybody in the building. Great show. I had to make up for last Friday. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. You got any final thoughts, Tiff? Makes you froze. Yo, man. Thank you for everybody who called in. I hope y'all enjoyed that. I had to make up for last Friday because I was for traveling and all that. So let's rewind. Leave me a comment. Hype the video. All that good stuff. We will see y'all tonight. The crack era is on is to the front of the congregation. From 1985 to 2005, we got a dope panel to assess what went wrong in our communities and what is that doing. What are the residual effects of that 20-year period on today? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Be safe and do the right thing, man. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend and tell a friend. And we out.